Thursday, 11th of June 2015. Paper highlights. First, let's look at the paper highlights from Daily Mirror. Basil further remanded. Former Minister of Economic Development Basil Rajapaksa and 3 former officials of the ministry had been further remanded till June 18th by Kaduwala Magistrate and Additional District Judge Dhammika Hemapala yesterday. Another highlight from Daily Mirror. Uppul further remanded. They found that the date of birth of Mr. Uppul differed in one identity card and they were investigating on that in addition to the investigation conducted on the aggressive statement made against the FCID. SPC Minister D.V. Uppul, who had allegedly made a threatening speech on May 31st in the presence of MP Namu Rajapaksa and others to stone to death the officers of the FCID under Rajapaksa regime, was further remanded till June 15th. Another highlight from Daily Mirror. Mervin, I will not back no fake move. As long as the Sinhala nationalism and Buddhism are safeguarding the Sangha, this country and the Buddha Sasana would be protected. Some do not like to call themselves Sinhala Buddhists. Parliamentarian Mervin Silva has said that he would not support the no-confidence motion against Prime Minister Ranil Wickremesinghe. I did not and would never sign the no-confidence motion brought against Prime Minister Ranil Wickremesinghe, Silva said when he called over the Asgiriya temple and paid respects to the newly appointed chief prelate of the Asgiriya chapter, Most Venerable Galagama Sri Attadasi Thera, on Tuesday. Another highlight from Daily Mirror. In the event of no-faith motion, PM calls for dissolution. Prime Minister Ranil Wickremesinghe said yesterday that dissolution of Parliament was the option in the event of a no-confidence motion being mooted against him. The Prime Minister made these remarks in response to the United People's Freedom Alliance MPs who pressed for the debate on the no-confidence motion. He said there were 2 options to take up the motion or to dissolve Parliament. However, Mr. Wickremesinghe asked for the dissolution on Parliament immediately. Another highlight from Daily Mirror. PSC investigation of Shenuka concluded. The investigation held by the Public Service Commission against the former Secretary to the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, Shenuka Seneviratne, regarding her alleged involvement in a controversial awarding of a renovation contract in Geneva had concluded earlier this week. Another highlight from Daily Mirror. Time to discuss gay rights. Dr. Mahana Mahewa. With society undergoing dynamic changes, it's time for Sri Lanka to hold a discussion on gay rights with the input of community leaders, attorney and human rights activist Pratibha Mahana Mahewa said yesterday. More highlights from Daily Mirror. UPFA insists on debate on RW. The United People's Freedom Alliance asserted in Parliament yesterday that it would not withdraw the no-confidence motion against Prime Minister Ranil Wickremesinghe at any cost, though the government had made different statements in this respect. Another highlight from Daily Mirror. Government to host Diaspora Festival. The Ministry of Foreign Affairs was planning to host a festival of diaspora by the end of the year in a bid to facilitate meaningful interactions between the government and the diaspora communities to move forward reconciliation and development efforts. Now let's see the paper highlights from Ceylon today. No licenses issued after 2012. Colombo casinos illegal. Parliament was told yesterday that casinos currently operating in the island are functioning without licenses. Many questions were raised over the legality and the taxes imposed by the government on such casinos. Another highlight from Ceylon today. Foreign Ministry confirms Mangala met GTF in London. The Ministry of Foreign Affairs confirmed that Minister Mangala Samaravira represented the Sri Lanka government in talk with the Tamil National Alliance and the Global Tamil Forum held in London, England from 4th to 7th June. Another highlight from Ceylon today. Wimal slams Mangala over London talks with LTTE front. NFF leader Wimal Weerawangsa yesterday queried whether the laws of the country were not applicable to Foreign Minister Mangala Samaravira. More highlights from Ceylon today. Poison tea. 79 estate workers hospitalized. 79 estate workers of the Pitharamula Watte estate were hospitalized yesterday after consuming tea accidentally contaminated with pesticide sprayed on cultivations, Haputala police said. This incident occurred last morning when 79 of its estate workers had unknowingly used contaminated tea to prepare their morning tea. Many of the workers were rushed to the Haputala and the Dirthalava hospitals. Another highlight from Ceylon today. Won't withdraw no-faith motion against Ranil, UPFA. The Sri Lanka Freedom Party-led United People's Freedom Alliance will not be withdrawing the no-confidence motion moved against United National Party leader and Prime Minister Ranil Wickremesinghe. Another highlight from Ceylon today. Nabbed for smuggling smuggling in rupees 50 million gold. A 31-year-old Sri Lankan woman attempting to smuggle 100 gold biscuits worth rupees 50 million into the country was arrested yesterday morning at the arrival lounge of the Bandaranaike International Airport by customs officials. Now let's move to the paper highlights from Daily News. Parliament not being dissolved due to needs of the opposition. PM. The government has had to continue for more than 100 days, although promised at the election to dissolve Parliament due to the need of the opposition, said Prime Minister Ranil Wickremesinghe. He made this observation yesterday in Parliament during an argument that arose following a privilege issue raised by opposition member Dinesh Gunawardena on a statement made by Foreign Affairs Deputy Minister Ajith P. Pereira to the media that some of the members who signed the no-confidence motion against the Prime Minister wanted to withdraw their signatures. Another highlight from Daily News. Both sides fear dissolution. Both the government and the opposition seemed afraid of a dissolution of Parliament, Speaker Chamal Rajapaksa observed in Parliament yesterday. He made this observation when members of both sides challenged each other to take measures to dissolve Parliament. The members on both sides were inquiring from their opponents, each saying they were ready at any moment to go for a general election. Another highlight from Daily News. No mandate for governments or individuals to mediate with diaspora in reconciliation efforts. No official mediation role has been conferred on any government or individual to encourage the Sri Lankan diaspora in any way to support Sri Lanka's ongoing reconciliation efforts, Foreign Affairs Ministry media spokesperson Mahishini Kolone said yesterday. More highlights from Daily News. President to launch SLFP awareness program from Dambadeniya. President Maithripala Sirisena will commence electoral level awareness programs for Sri Lanka Freedom Party activists on June 14th from Dambadeniya, said Deputy Minister of Media Shantha Bandara. Another highlight from Daily News. Approval of CC awaits written agreement by party leaders. The approval of the 3 names of civil society members nominated to the Constitutional Council was postponed yesterday by Parliament till the party leaders come to a written agreement. Another highlight from Daily News. President appoints 4 new deputy ministers. 4 new deputy ministers were sworn in before President Maithripala Sirisena at the Presidential Secretariat yesterday. Another highlight from Daily News. UNP proposals on 20th A must be practical. We extend our support towards the new electoral system but not in agreement with the proposed numbers, said Deputy Media Minister Shantha Bandara. Another highlight from Daily News. No intervention of President in NCM, Anura Yapa. SLFP General Secretary Anura Priyadarshana Yapa yesterday emphasized that there was no intervention of President Maithripala Sirisena in respect of the no-confidence motion against Prime Minister Ranil Wickremesinghe. We brought you the paper highlights from today's newspapers and we will bring you more tomorrow.